I've had my African cichlid tank for a couple of years now, and the reason I got these fish is because they're colourful, hardy, and they don't require plants. Prior to keeping them, I kept mostly South American species, and despite being interested in fish for most of my life, I didn't think there were any other freshwater fish quite like African cichlids. Ironically though, it turns out that literally right outside my back door here in Brisbane, there are fish that are also colourful, hardy, and don't require plants. These fish belong to an incredibly colourful family of fish called Melanotaeniidae, or colloquially known as rainbowfish. They're native to most of the freshwater creeks here in Australia, and they also extend up to New Guinea and can be found in Madagascar. I was introduced to these native fish by Jason from Australian Biotopes recently. We went out on a bit of an expedition and got some inspiration for creating a river hardscape in my 6-foot peninsula setup. Jason did an incredible job at this, and we already added in some crimson-spotted rainbowfish and some ornate rainbowfish, but I was keen to add some more. In this video, I'm going to head out with my friend Maggie, and we're going to introduce you to some of these fish, show you how we caught them, and show you how they can look when you put them into your aquarium. Hopefully you get inspired by this and appreciate these fish as much as I have been, because they're really quite incredible. To begin the day, I headed to my friend Maggie's house. The day was off to a bit of a rocky start. I thought that I punctured my tyre, but it just turned out that the weather has been so hot that I think I lost a lot of the pressure in my tyres, so I quickly stopped to pump them up. Then I was meant to get an air pump on the way, but the pet store didn't have any actual portable air pumps, so I ended up just heading to Maggie's. Just arrived at Maggie's. It is a beautiful day. Hopefully the weather stays good. Things didn't go as planned. I couldn't get the air pump. Well, we could just, is there like a pet barn or something near here?
Yeah, actually there's one near where we're going.
Okay, I reckon pet barn will have it. Maggie's actually got some beautiful setups herself. She's got a 5-foot discus display tank and some nano tanks too. Now, this is where the next thing didn't go as planned. I got some new microphones because I'm trying to get better equipment, but I don't know how to use it properly, and we recorded all of the audio on Maggie's microphone, but then I recorded over it by accident, not realising that it just auto-deletes footage if the storage gets full. So I'm going to have to put captions up for some of the things that Maggie said, but that's okay because I can go back another time and we'll do a proper tour of all her tanks, because she's also setting up a display rack as well, so maybe we can follow the progress of that. Oh my gosh, there's more.
Yeah, this is the new one. It's got one
Oh my
sad
god. And so Maggie literally picked this tank up yesterday. Yesterday or day before? Day before. Day before yesterday.
Downsized quite a bit, believe it or not, in the last couple of weeks. If I get a bigger one, then I can get some smaller ones. It counts.
This is true. This is true. You could just absorb them.
My justification.
We had a bit of a look at the tanks, then we packed the car. We had a bucket for the fish, some nets for catching them, our fish traps, and some Vegemite bread as bait. The only thing we were missing was an air pump. Okay, let's pray that they have an air pump. If there's any place that will, it will be this place, hopefully. I hope they do. Even though we weren't travelling far, we wanted to get an air pump for peace of mind because it was quite a hot day, which means there can be less dissolved oxygen in the water, and it just meant that we didn't have to stress about refreshing the fish's water and worrying about them being in the bucket for too long. So we found a good one. This one's got a USB one, so then we can just plug it into the car. This actually has 2 batteries too, I think. Here we are. You can hear all of the cicadas. We headed down to the creek and unpacked the car. We didn't have to walk very far, it was only about a 20-metre walk, which was nice. There was a really nice bridge on the right-hand side with lots of sunlight, but we found that where the shaded area was with dappled light was the place where most of the fish were. It's very hot today, so I'm going to go over here to the shade with Maggie, and what we're going to do is pop some of our traps in, because we're going to have to wait a little while to see if we catch anything. And it is a little bit shallow at the moment, so who knows how we'll go.
We can try further downstream and upstream.
Yeah, we'll just keep going if we need to, but we'll try here first and we'll just... Okay.
We'll see.
Sweet, let's do it.
We'll pop this back in.
The traps that we used are just $10 bait traps from Kmart. You just fill them with some bait. You can use dog food or cat food pellets, or in our case we're using Vegemite bread.
The bait, the good bait.
Oh yes, Vegemite on bread.
They're Australian fish.
Yeah, so no wonder they love it.
Do you want to do it all free or
Maybe just, I don't know.
Let's start with it, see how we go.
Yeah. Alright, and put some toast in here.
Yep.
How much did you bring?
This.
That's everything.
You don't need much.
Oh, okay.
They'll come.
Just put a little bit of toast. Not toast, bread.
Bread.
In there. Cool. Well, shall we pop them in and see what we can find?
It's a little bit gross, but
Yeah, it's a bit stagnant. These fish hang out pretty close to the surface, so you can normally see their silhouette from a bird's eye view. It looks like how the fish look in Animal Crossing as reference. We went ahead and set out 2 traps initially. Here in Queensland, we're allowed to set out 4 traps per group, and we can catch 20 rainbow fish per species and keep 20 per species of wild caught rainbow fish at a time, so you can't go back the next day and catch another 20. I'll also put a link to this free freshwater fish identification guide in the bio. It goes through the different types of native fish and how to tell them apart, and it also tells you some fish to look out for, like these catfish, which actually have a poisonous barb. There's some non-native fish that aren't meant to be in the creek, and you're not actually allowed to put them back in if you catch them, even as bait. So it's good to get acquainted with this guide so you know what you're looking at. We finished putting our traps out, then we just had to wait about 10 to 15 minutes. This is a good little standing plank. For rainbow fish catching.
Yeah.
Wow, some of these trees are beautiful. I put my GoPro under the water in a couple of locations so that I could spy on the fish and see what they were up to, and look what we had here. One of those eel-tailed catfish actually swam by. I think it looked like he was after this little school of fry potentially. We also spotted some rainbow fish. We saw this crimson-spotted rainbowfish, and we also saw some Pacific blue eyes as well. We even saw some little shrimp too, which I didn't expect. After about 15 minutes, it was time to pull the traps up and see what we had caught. Yeah, some swordtails. So these are noxious fish.
Yeah, I think these are green swordtails, I think.
Beautiful fish, but
Oh, no.
oopsies. Oh yeah, we got a
I
one.
think that could be a male blue eye.
Blue eye. At the time of recording this audio, I'd already quarantined all of the fish and added them into my main tank. So I'm going to show you some footage of what they look like in the tank as we go through them. These guys are Pacific blue eyes, and as you can see, if you get males, they can have a lot of yellow on their fins and look really spectacular. And you can also get spotted blue eyes too, but these are found further north here in Australia.
Young crimson spot.
Hopefully we don't drop him.
Very young. Yeah.
Woohoo! Here is a really nice crimson spotted rainbow fish in my tank. You can see the males get those really beautiful colours, and they've got a nice red spot on their face. Both the males and females have that little red spot on their cheek. The females look quite different. They've got a more slender body and they're not quite as colourful, but they're still really beautiful.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good for our first
The
trap.
bad spot, yeah. And I think one of them might be some kind of smell. Honestly not sure. The one with the
Oh yeah.
star.
We didn't know it at the time, but we actually caught these fish called Ornate Rainbowfish, or Rads, which are classified as rare in the creek. When I was looking at them, I thought they looked like that type of fish, but I had remembered Jason saying that they're normally only found a bit further north. I sent a photo of one of them to Jason and he confirmed it is a rad, so we're not sure why they're in here, whether they've started to breed again or if they've been illegally put into the creek, who knows, but it was really cool to find these fish. We got 2 of them. One of them had more colour, which is the one I sent to Jason, and unfortunately out of all the fish that didn't make it, that was one of the only ones, but we do still have one left that's just a little bit less colourful. Maggie's going to catch out the yucky fish, and I'm just going to get this air pump ready to pop in there for them. Alright, never mind, I was mistaken. It can take batteries, but you have to buy the batteries. I got confused because they put a picture of batteries on there. That's alright, they should be fine for now. We'll just be quick and then we'll get them into the car.
Yeah. And we can keep refreshing the water.
Oh, so true, yeah.
Plenty of it. I think this is either something hardyhead or an Australian smelt. I'm not sure.
Oh, nice.
Not sure.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, like in the creek.
Should we set one more weight wherever we can see them and then see how we go?
I reckon we'll get them.
Yeah.
We got one.
We'll try again.
I reckon we might
We'll see if we can spot them.
in where it's deeper.
So we're just going to have a quick lunch break. We're going to just quickly run to Coles because we're silly and we didn't even think to bring any type of food or anything. So we'll go do that and then we're going to return because otherwise we were both agreeing that we're going to get hangry and then we're not going to want to stay for longer and make the most of it. So it's important to...
We won't be friends anymore.
Yes, it's important to go get some Coke, some food for fuel. We took all of the fish with us and popped the air pump in the car. We made sure we were super quick because it was such a hot day and they were going to heat up really quickly in the car. There was a Coles not too far away, so we just ran into there and grabbed some salad and some fruit for us to eat. Bloobs. Yeah, you can get some straws. Do you want an energy drink? I'm not going to do it, but you can.
I mean, I do, but I know it's a bad idea.
Might just get a little Coke. A big Coke. Ooh.
Yes.
I just prefer Coke in a can for some reason, but yeah. Oh, 2 for $6.30 too. Yeah, perfect. All right. If you're going out for a day like this, definitely don't forget something to replenish you because it can be quite a long day. Sometimes you don't get what you expect in the traps and you want to put them out again and make the most of it.
That's replenishing.
We returned back and we actually found a bunch of crimson-spotted rainbowfish when we put the traps out again, so it was definitely worthwhile hanging around a bit and making the most of it. We also found a really huge gudgeon, which we didn't keep. And we also found some giant glass fish, so I don't know what was going on with this trap, but all the fish were just gigantic that were in it. You can see that we had a lot of fish and we didn't need anywhere near that many, so we put most of the fish back in the end and just kept a select few. We're all done, my camera's going to die, so we're just going to head back into the car, get these guys aerated, and then we'll have a look at what we've got more properly when we get home. By the end of the day we were both super exhausted and it was going to storm, so we got home quickly. I popped the fish into my car with the aerator and drove home. It is about 3:30 now and Maggie and I were right, there was definitely a storm coming. It's quite dark outside now, so immaculate timing. The lights are on for my other tanks now, so my African cichlids, my Lake Malawi cichlids, I've got heaps of videos on them as well, so I've got peacocks and boona and haps in there. This is my rainbow fish scape. Ultimately this is where the fish will go that we got today. I brought the fish home and I quickly set up a quarantine tank for them using some of the biological media from my sump. And I monitored them for about a week and a half to check for any signs of disease or illness, and they all seemed really healthy and were eating well. So after that time period, I was happy to add them into my main tank. I added them into that main tank about 4 or 5 days ago, and they're all doing really well in there. I'm loving seeing the extra fish in there because they all seem a lot more confident and happy. They really like to interact with each other, and they do a lot of schooling as well, which is nice to see. I'm really excited to watch as these fish grow and to follow the progress of them. I recently visited a huge aquarium store here in Brisbane called Tech Den, and they had a crazy amount of rainbow fish there. It was really exciting to see, and I got a few to bring home as well. I'm going to be doing a video of a full store tour of Tech Den in not too long, so keep an eye out for that. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel too if you want to see more content like this, and turn on the little bell notification to get notified each time I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.